Little Jesse James Dupree from Jackal for you. Well, so this story isn't my story. It's a second-hand story. So Fritz from 98.9, Rock KQRC if you're from out of town. He's got a friend that works on Sundays, Ty James. So Ty James, Fritz, Jesse James Dupree of Jackal. It's his whiskey, big opening night. It's a bourbon release party, so to speak. And
The Rock was involved.
The Rock was definitely involved because Johnny Dare and Jesse James Dupree are best friends.
Yep.
And so it was a whole thing, especially here in Kansas City. So, and we're definitely proud of Jackal. I mean, I skipped school one day to go see Jackal. It was when they were doing they were doing like a Guinness Book of World Records tour. If they could do, more shows within a certain amount of time. And they were rocking like 2 shows a day for the longest time, sometimes 3 shows, I think, but whatever. They ended up getting that world record because they planned it out, and Jesse is not a fucking punk. He cannot be trifled with. So, anywho, if you're a Jackal fan, you know what I'm talking about. If not, check them out. They may not be your cup of tea. They may not be your Glencairn whiskey, but whatever. So anyway, speaking of not your Glencairn whiskey, I don't think, Ty, and I don't think the bourbon release party involved Glencairn glasses. I'm sure it was just like, shot glasses or whatever. But
solo cups.
So
Maybe.
they're trying it out. It's at the release party, and Fritz is like, okay, this is great. Moose is like, this is really good. I really like this, and I bought him a couple bottles because he loves it so much, and he's my friend. So I go, so Ty, he grabs his glass, he tries, and he's like, this is like cat piss. And, Jesse's within fucking earshot, but he didn't say anything. I don't know if he heard him or not, but he just kept on rocking and rolling, doing his Jesse thing, pumping the shit out of it. But holy smokes, I would not want to be on the receiving end of the wrath of Jesse James Dupree from Jackal.
And he was still on air after that, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Ty is still handling the Sunday afternoons after the House of Hair. If you're familiar with Dee Snider from Twisted Sister.
I do like the House of Hair show.
The House of Hair show is actually really fucking fun.
For the longest time, that was my listen on my way to band practice every morning.
Right. And it still kind of is for me if I'm not trying to like cram the music that I haven't been listening to that I should have been listening to on my way to band practice. Definitely, it's a lot of fun. One day I heard a Sam Kinison song that he played that I didn't even know existed, and so when I got there, or maybe I had even texted it on the way because texting and driving is a bad thing, but maybe there was a traffic jam. I don't know. But anyway, when I got there and I was talking about it, Carlo was like, "Oh yeah, definitely. You didn't know anything about that song?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it was fucking great." And so he sent me that song so I could listen to it on my off time, and it was every bit as fun as I remembered it was on the House of Hair. But that was then. This is now. Tonight. Welcome to the Savor the Burn podcast. My name is Jonathan. This is W2. How do you do?
It's been a great night.
It has been a great night. We've had a couple things that you've already seen. If you've noticed, I'm still wearing a Whiskey Meyer shirt, which is they call themselves Red Dirt. Whatever the hell that means. They're somewhere between country and rock. If you like them, cool. If not, that's cool too. They're not everybody's cup of tea. You're wearing your dark glass t-shirt, which is very cool. It's got a very unique sound on your bass playing. I love it when you hit that one. It's like dark and crisp at the same time. It's actually like playing on a sheet of obsidian. All of you bass players may or may not know what I'm talking about. If you don't, definitely go check it out. Dark class. So tonight we're going to try out this store pick. Who was it? Gomer's Fine Wine and Spirits. Yeah. Where are they out of?
So there are a handful of Gomer stores around the Kansas City area.
Okay.
This particularly came from the Gomer South store, which is on 103rd and Stateline.
Okay.
So
that's actually pretty close to me. In Raytona Beach.
A lot of the groups that we're part of, the Whiskey Guild, a lot of them talk about the Gomer's South, 103rd State Line. It's right there on the corner. I had not been there. I knew exactly where it was. I was pretty certain it was either the old Royal Liquor, which Royal Liquor / gas station, or
like one out in Blue Springs.
Or diagonal from there, there's a Price Chopper, and there used to be a Burbicula's out in front of there. So I knew. So either the Royals was no longer there, and it was there, or it was what used to be the Burbicula's.
Okay.
Well, the Burbicula's has become a used car dealership or something like that.
There was one out in Blue Springs that is now a car lot.
So it turns out it is what used to be the Royal Liquor, and a decade or plus ago, I used to stop in there all the time because they had a fantastic selection of craft beers.
Okay.
And if there was something hard to find or something unique that I had never heard of or seen before, I could find it there because they had so many different things. Well, you fast forward, that is now the Gomer South, which is, like we said, 103rd and State Line. And so anyway, I finally got off work early one day or something. I had some time before I needed to go pick the family up. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop in there, see what I can see, find what I can find.
Yeah, maybe they got something cool, maybe they don't.
Yeah, they had they have a great selection on the shelf. Very, very extensive selection. They also had probably a half dozen store pick single barrel offerings available. This was one of many, and so I was in there for a way longer time than I thought. And if you remember, also while I was in there, the door was locked and the guys at the counter were busy, so I didn't get a chance to have them come over and let me in.
Okay.
But they had a locked allocation room, and I sent you a picture. On the shelf, they had the 27, they had a 21, and I think they had the 15 on the shelf. And we have the 21, but I had never seen the 21 in the wild. Definitely never seen the 27
of the Redbreast.
Of the Redbreast.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did not mention it. Yeah, the Redbreast. Right. That was the first time I'd ever seen the Redbreast 27 sitting on the shelf anywhere. And I was just like, holy shit. And their price was what I had seen second market prices for. So it didn't shock and surprise me.
Right.
But I also...
You don't want to pay second market prices. You don't want to.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do.
I wasn't banging down the door to get in there and grab it either. So, like I said, they had... probably a half dozen store pick single barrels. They had a New Riff. They had
I've heard decent things about New Riff.
Yeah, they had so many. And I'm blanking on what they were. But one of them was this Knob Creek, and and they were all real close to the same price point. So they were all right around that $50, $55 range. I think this one was like $54, maybe.
Okay.
It literally has been 2 decades since I've had a Knob Creek, so I couldn't even tell you what Knob Creek tastes like. Other than it's a Jim Beam product.
I didn't know how to bring it up this time. That's awesome sauce. Yeah, so like for me, it has not been 2 decades. It's been maybe just a couple of months where I had a Knob Creek rye that I finished off, and like earlier before we started recording. You were talking up the texture on the glass, how it's just hand blown. It's
awesome. It's super unique. Yeah, I mean it looks like a very unique one-off hand blown glass type of bottle. But all their bottles are like that.
They are. I don't know how they do it.
I think that's cool.
But yeah, it's definitely cool.
So
and it's wax dipped with a pull tab.
Yep.
This is single barrel.
So this is the Knob Creek Single Barrel Select Bourbon.
Yeah.
Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. So
you talk, I pour?
I talk, you pour.
Okay.
Do it. So the Knob Creek Single Barrel Select Bourbon. So the Select Bourbon program with Knob Creek is based off of their 9-year bourbon.
Okay.
The Knob Creek 9-year is kind of their standard staple bourbon. The select bourbon part of it is their store pick program. So a store says, yes, I want a single barrel. So, and that's where a single barrel comes into it, because the regular Knob Creek 9-year is not single barrel. It is just a batch 9-year bourbon. With this being a store pick, it is single barrel. It is minimum 9 years. This one happens to be 9 years, 4 months, and 11 days.
That's cool.
The label on the front gives us the date it was put in the barrel, and it gives us the date that it was selected and bottled. So, like we said, it is from Gomer's. It comes in at 120 proof. I don't necessarily think that's cask strength, but that's pretty darn close. Even on the high end of things, if that's not cask strength, that's pretty darn close. It's not a lot of water added to that.
Not bad at all.
Beyond that, I don't have a whole lot of additional details other than store-specific offering from a bourbon barrel specially chosen by your local retailer through our single barrel program. And that's really all the information I have on it. When it comes to color, it is listed as a rich burnt umber.
It is dark.
It's dark as
What is it? Do your note say anything about the pop?
Does not. Give it a pop.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. Taste on this says taste, aroma. I ain't mad at that.
Exquisite.
Taste, aroma, and finish vary based on the barrel selected. So,
Wow,
so
okay.
online, they're not giving any tasting notes whatsoever on this, which I can't be mad at them for, because it's going to be barrel to barrel. It's going to be store's discretion, right?
Yep.
They send the stores, 4, 6, a dozen, however many samples to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
They try them out and say, this is the barrel I want. And that's the barrel they get.
Yeah, and depending on the store, sometimes they want it proof down, or sometimes they just want it barrel strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According to the Knob Creek website, the Barrel Select program, they're all 120 proof.
Okay. So it could be proof down. There's no way to proof it up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like it's got any sediment in it. So maybe it's chill filtered. Maybe not.
That I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what the rules are with barrel proof. And
I don't know a whole lot about
filtration.
Knob Creek other than it's from Jim Beam.
It's a beautiful It's a beautiful color.
It's a fantastic
it'd be a
color.
better color if I didn't have fingerprints all over my glass, like an idiot. That's me. I put fingerprints all over everything. That's
But
why
that is a very clear.
I'll never be a criminal.
That is a very clear liquid. That's for sure. How was the pull tab? I was reading and talking and I wasn't really paying attention.
The pull tab reminded me of Booker's. It was easy enough to pull off. I mean, it had a nice thick tab here. I mean, that's a big bastard, and so you grab it, you pull it.
It
It's
looked
even
like
textured on one side.
Are all,
It's easy enough.
because I'm not familiar with Knob Creek's full line. Is the wax dip top standard
Yeah.
on all the
I
Knob
believe
Creeks?
so. Yeah.
I thought so, but I was not 100% sure.
Now I've only had the rye, the Knob Creek rye, and so
Dude, that
I haven't
nose.
had the other ones. I certainly haven't had this one.
Dude, this nose.
Yeah, right. Nose off the neck of the bottle was like,
I mean-
oh, this is going to be interesting.
I mean, 9.5 years.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be anything wrong with that nose at 9.5 years, but
Yeah, it's a year off as far as age is that Baker's 7 that we did a while back.
so
So this is also by Booker No.
right.
Right, it says here on the bottle.
Well,
we talked about it
Freddie
earlier.
No.
Fred No, yeah. It says here on the bottle, 7th generation master distiller Fred No, and we've talked about Fred No when it comes to the Jim Beam product line. Well, I guess it's not Jim Beam; it's Beam Suntory.
Right.
The Japanese whiskey company came over and they bought it, and they're now the umbrella. And Jim Beam is one of the offerings. And like you said, like what they did is they let Jim Beam do Jim Beam things. They gave him money to expand on their line, and maybe this Knob Creek offering here is part of what Suntory helped them bring to their own table.
Yeah.
If you know more about the Beam Suntory storyline, please let us know. Leave us a comment, send us an email, info@savortheburn.com, w2@savortheburn.com, or Jonathan, Jonathan, @savortheburn.com. We're definitely looking forward to this. What do you got on the nose?
Man, I'm getting.
It definitely smells good.
Well, first off, the nose is very, very soft. There's nothing that alcohol.
Yeah, the ethanol burn.
The ethanol burn. It's not there.
It's not for 120 proof. Hell no.
No, 120 proof. There's nothing.
It might hit you like a 90.
There's a custardy caramel there.
Yeah.
Lots of vanilla.
There's like a fruity candy cane, like
like a fruitcake.
I mean, like the not the peppermint candy canes, but like the ones that taste like different fruits.
Okay.
Like who does it? Like Jolly Rancher or somebody does it, and they're like really fucking tasty. But like if you do the open mouth breathe with your nose over the glass and the lip resting on your mustache, that's what I'm picking up. It's like it's almost like what you would expect from a Weller thing on the nose. It's got a certain something. Know what I mean?
You know those
and cherry.
I don't know what they're
like
called.
Now and Later, cherry now and later, or fruit punch now and later.
It's kind of like that those peppermint puff candies that you get around the holidays times.
Yeah,
they're white.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
They're kind of.
You also get them at Easter. You get them at weddings.
I'm picking up on kind of that.
Jennifer loves those things. She knows exactly what those are.
It's not overly pepperminty, but I'm getting the same sensation that I get with those. Those puffy white pepperminty candies. Like I said, custardy, caramel, vanilla, a nice soft, maybe toasted oak.
It's got a lot to offer, man. Yeah, I wasn't wowed by it, but I'm definitely.
I don't know, man.
I'm ready to follow Alice down the rabbit hole. I don't care if she's blonde or not. Let's get it on the mouth, Alice.
Jesus, that's good.
Buttermints. That's what they're called, buttermints.
Yeah.
She just responded. Thank you, Jennifer. Oh, wow. That's got a lot of bite on the tongue. So it's got lots of rye in it, I'm guessing.
There's definitely a rye in that mash bill.
But I got the oak.
It
got like a deep caramel.
To me, it did not present itself until the tail end of the palate into the finish.
The oak?
The rye spice.
The rye. I said, what are those peppermint puff things you find at Easter or weddings? She said, buttermints? The ones I steal from hotels? Yes, exclamation mark.
Those.
Those, exclamation mark, send. Wow. Thank you, exclamation mark. Exclamation mark, whiskey mark, send. So when it comes to the Beam Suntory line, the product line, before the podcast, what all experience had you had, and like what were you? I mean, you had
very, very limited.
You had the original, 2 decades plus ago. You've had
white label.
You've had white label. You're like, nah, whatever.
Yeah, and then just dismiss.
Okay, but what about the others? Bookers, Bakers. Bakers probably wasn't even around 2 decades ago, but like
before
recently,
this podcast, I had never had any of those. This podcast has broadened my horizon.
Definitely, me too. It is definitely, for me, it has polarized me as far as Beam Suntory products go, because I I liked it. Now I love it. Everything I've had from the Beam Suntory product line has been good. Well, it's not great.
We have not done the white label on the podcast, and maybe we should.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we shouldn't. But maybe we should.
But maybe we should.
Continue. What are you thinking?
Well, where I was going with it, though, is everything beyond white label is at least solid.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? That's one thing that we talked about with the...
and then you step up to their premium lines, the Bookers, the Bakers, the...
Candlestick makers.
All the...
We ran into this with the Maker's Mark.
Yeah. Neither one of us liked Maker's Mark.
Right.
But 46...
46 was great.
Game changer.
46 cask strength, even better.
Yeah, look at that bottle. It's, it's beyond half gone.
The level. And we had talked about
Didn't take long.
how it's an iconic brand. I mean, it's easily identifiable. I mean, who else has that fucking red drip? Like, boom, like everybody knows who it is.
To that point, though, and the reason why I asked earlier, because I was not 100% sure, Knob Creek, all of their offerings are wax dipped also. And I'm a fan of black, and I'm a fan of the black wax, but it's the red wax that everyone remembers.
Yeah.
So
you know what? That's very fucking true.
I'm just saying, no one talks about the wax dip and the pull tab on the Knob Creek. Everyone talks about the red wax of Makers.
Yeah.
What's the difference? The difference is Knob Creek cleans up their drips.
They don't drip it as far, and
it's
Knob
nice
Creek
and clean.
Also puts a stamp on it.
Oh, they sure. Oh shit! I hadn't even noticed that. Yeah, they sure do.
Oh yeah.
No, I hadn't even noticed that.
So yeah, I mean, if you're just walking by, you may not notice it for what it is, Knob Creek. If you're just walking past Maker's Mark, you're going to notice it for what it is. I mean,
Maker's Mark intentionally, intentionally.
They do.
The smaller 375 bottle that we had of the regular 46,
it even had it.
Had the drips, and because it was a smaller bottle, the drips were like running down the side of it.
It went a little further.
So they have made that part of their brand, and that's cool as hell. Knob Creek, they wax dip it just the same. They clean up the end of it, and I don't know.
I don't think it'd look right if they let it drip like the.
I don't either.
Makers, I don't think it would look right. I mean, they wax dip their Bookers.
Yeah.
And nobody really talks about that.
The wax dipping on a Bookers though, that's
a Maker's style dip. I mean, it is a third of the way down,
but it's also a completely different type of dip because they put that ribbon around the neck and then they dip it so that that ribbon with the little medallion on the front of it is all encased in the wax. And it's a nice clean dip, so there's no runs or anything.
This one here, though, with that pull tab, was also dipped within the wax.
Yep.
Whoops! I dropped the wax part of the ribbon. Whoops! And the ribbon itself looks like a fiberglass filament kind of tape.
Yep.
Kind of thing. If you work in a warehouse, you might recognize it.
I think all of them that we've done recently, Makers. Same kind of a thing. The Bookers, same kind of a thing. It's that fiberglass type of a tape, so that it's not going to break when you're trying to pull it off. Dude, this is good. This is
What are you picking up on the palate?
Definitely caramel, vanilla, charred oak.
Yeah,
a little bit of cinnamon, baking spice.
To me, it's kind of like everything you would expect to find from a basic Beam Suntory bourbon. Like if you took the Jim Beam extra aged, that black label, not the 7-year that just came out, but the extra aged, you took that times 3. And you would have somewhere in the ballpark, like in the parking lot of the ballpark of this. This has so much more happening. Mm-hmm. I would put this above the Baker's 7. I don't know. I don't remember what the ratings were on that. Actually, I don't know if I would put this above Baker's 7. Now that I really think about it, They're so unique in their own way.
The topper on the Bakers makes it
right. That was a really cool topper.
It's not wax dip, but it is a very unique topper.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
And this was the 7 year, 6 month.
8 year.
8 year, 6 month.
Versus all the current ones that are
a cool little Savor
around.
the Burn neck tag on it. Yeah, but I mean, look at that topper.
Let's compare the color though.
The color is similar. Right. Whoops. It's similar. It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, this is round, that's flat.
Yep.
You know, flask style. Yeah, this was good. This was good. This is also very good. I'll hopefully put this back here with a minimum of fuss. Do you have a whiskey collection? Let us know what's in it. Send us an email. Leave us a comment. By golly, while you're at it, leave us a like, a comment, a subscribe. Share this with a friend. Sharing the burn is just as important as savoring the burn. You've got your... look at your pen, dude. What did you do? What did you do? What did you do?
Whiskey.
Yeah, so that's got everything you like and or love about bourbon. Just times a bunch. What was the age?
9 years, 4 months, 11 days.
Actually, I wrote that down. Yeah, Knob Creek, 9 year, 4 months, 11 days, single barrel straight bourbon whiskey, 120 proof.
Single dingleberry.
Single dingle. Gomer's fine wine and spirits store pick. I'm really digging the finish. It's got the Kentucky hug.
The finish is really good.
It is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
Yes, sir.
So it is an official Kentucky hug.
Yep. Barreled, aged, bottled, all in Kentucky.
I dig it, dude. Bottle presentation. So we talked about the blown glass, the wax dip, the pull tab.
I dig that feature about it.
Yeah, it's a cool texture. It's got embossed lettering.
It's got the Knob Creek small batch embossed on the front of it.
Yep.
It's a store pick, so it's single barrel select bourbon
with the exclusive labeling at the bottom. The wax dip actually has a stamp up there on the neck.
That's really cool. I had not noticed the actual stamp on there. And
it does have a composite cork, right? I think it was composite when I popped it off of there.
Yeah. It's totally composite.
Yeah.
But you know what?
There's nothing wrong with composite.
No. I'm not gonna, definitely not gonna dock it for composite versus cork, natural cork.
Right.
It's a rectangular shaped bottle, but it still has a little bit of a punt on the bottom of it for that's worth.
Yeah. Nice. And it's a thick base. Solid square. And you know, if you're this bottle here, if you're running out of room on your shelf, like if you've got too many of these on your shelf, the Willet Pot Still Bourbon, and you need the room, you can make up for it right here.
You know what?
See this label right here?
You got 3 Knob Creeks that you can get for this one.
You're right. You could definitely line those up.
You know what? And I'm not mad at this bottle, because if I have this bottle on my shelf, I'm excited to have this very unique bottle. However, it's going to take a little bit more room than this one turned sideways. Yeah, like
definitely.
You said, turn it that way. It's you can see the Knob Creek, and you can get 3 more in that same space.
Yeah, definitely not knocking the Willet Pot Still Bourbon. I mean, we found this. This is a super divisive bottle. So many people had, they either liked it or they hated it. And so much trash talking on this one, but we both ended up liking it more than average. So definitely cool on that one. You can check that out on a past episode. Or just go straight to our rating, savortheburn.com/liquor cabinet. Scroll down in the bourbon section and you'll find it.
I had no idea. I'm a Knob Creek fan.
He's a Knob Creek fan now.
This is
So 20
really
years
amazing.
ago, you tried a Knob Creek, and you must not have been that impressed with it.
The standard Knob.
It's been 20 years.
This is a single barrel, 9 year, 4 months, 9.5 year.
Yeah.
Store pick. So one, there's been a little bit of discretion on this one. Being a store pick, it means that the store chose this over other barrels, and then they had a single barrel on this. So yeah, this is good. I want to try the 12 year. I want to try the 18 year.
Dude, okay, so it looks like their base level thing is a 9 year. It says the primary expression of the brand is aged for 9 years and bottled at 100 proof, higher than, parenthetical here, higher than the typical 2 years.
I did see that on their website.
And 80 proof, that are the minimums required by U.S. federal labeling requirements, and parentheses. Knob Creek comes in a rectangular bottle with a corked or twist-on cap and wax-sealed top.
Okay, so the
Knob
standard
Creek,
is probably a twist-on.
twist-on. Yeah, I think that's what my rye was. And so this comes with a cork with a stopper.
Yeah, composite, but
Composite, yeah. But
a stopper nonetheless.
Composite just means it lasts on the shelf longer. So if you're going to buy a single barrel, select store pick, whatever, you're probably going to drink it less often. Like, you're hopefully going to drink the whole damn thing. I mean, it doesn't make sense to buy bottles and stick them on the shelf and never fuck with them.
Yeah.
I mean, whiskey was meant to share. It was meant to consume, clearly. So yeah. So definitely thank you for sharing this experience with me. I know we both bring plenty of bottles to the table, but it's not lost on me that this is a sharing is caring experience with any and all of these. But this is a great experience.
This is a great bottle. I mean, and even if their standard offering is just a standard 9 year offering, the fact that this is a store pick, which automatically makes it a single barrel offering.
Do you find like a toasted marshmallow on the nose?
Yes.
Do you really?
Yes.
So I'm not really crazy?
No, that is sitting by the fire pit, toast the marshmallow, pre-s'more. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the standard offering is, if that is just a standard 9 year, this being a store pick, which makes it a single barrel offering, and then it's 9.5 years. It elevates it. It makes it a little bit more than just a standard offering. So and we've talked about it on as we've gotten more into these store pick offerings. We've said it before, but every time we do a store pick, it just reiterates the fact that store picks are where it's at. Yes, store picks being a single barrel offering can be hit or miss, but you know what? The fact that someone sat down and someone or a group of people sat down and tasted a handful of different barrels, and then said, you know what? This is the one I think is the best. Yeah. There's a little bit of discretion that happens on there.
Yeah.
And even though everyone's taste profiles are going to vary, that process is going to mean there's a little bit more discernment put into this barrel.
There's more than one person that's picking that barrel. I mean, there's usually a panel, of a few people. I mean, we've been invited by Bubbles up there in Riverside. It wasn't Riverside. Parkville, right next door to Riverside, because we just went from Red X to Parkville. Red X is in Riverside. Parkville is not too far away. Whatever. So we got invited by Mike Strom to check out a barrel pick or two to help them decide which barrel they want to do, and we're looking forward to taking them up on that offer. That said, if you've watched any of the Bruzel videos on any of their barrel picks, they usually have their Patreons supporters come in at a certain tier anyway, come in and help them decide which barrel they want to pick.
Yep.
And they've got Brewsel has so many different barrel pick bourbons that you can buy. It's like mind numbing to me.
Yep.
Like Savor the Burn doesn't have that yet. But, if you want to help us get there, go to savortheburn.com/Patreon. Go to savortheburn.com, click the drop-down menu, click on Patreon, and you can easily, affordably, find a way to help support us in our podcast endeavor. And we will be ever so appreciative.
Yeah.
As we already are, honestly. Thank you so much for watching this. All right, so this has a lot to offer on the nose, on the palate. It's even better.
What did you give it on the nose?
I gave it a 375.
Oh damn!
What'd you give it? 4 1/4?
I gave it 4 1/4. How did you know?
Because I knew that I had undervalued it by at least a half a point. And
this is good. This is really good. I couldn't help it. I had to give it a 4 1/4.
Goodness. I mean, you like what you like. Like Corey Taylor said, dig what you dig, man.
Dude, let me tell you. So
yeah, you gave it a 4 1/4 on the nose. How about the palate?
4 1/4.
All right, I matched you on that because on the palate, for me, from going from nose to palate, jumped it. Like, I was like, holy shit, this is really good. It was more than a wow. So you gave it a 425 on the nose, a 425 on the palate. How about the finish?
I gave the finish a 4.5.
4.5? Okay.
The finish, whoops. The Kentucky hug on this one, nothing scalded, but the Kentucky hug just like
it was there,
wrapped its arms around you and held on tight. It was good. It was medium long, and everything that you got from nose to palate just pulled right on through.
Yeah.
And then after it gave you that squeeze, just kind of slowly faded
For me,
off.
it'd be like being hugged by a cute blonde, but actually being okay with it. It was like no resistance. Like, this feels nice. I think I might understand what all the fuss is about. And then respectfully, whiskey, they let go. And they let you move on with your life. How about the bottle presentation? We talked about the glass and how it looks, hand blown. We talked about the
I definitely struggled
with cork, the wax dip. The
I definitely struggled
embossment,
with this one.
Extra labeling.
Yeah.
You're not going to find the extra labeling on the base offering.
Not at
all. Other than that, everything else is essentially the same. You're going to find the embossment of the glass on the front.
Yep.
Yeah.
I gave it 4 1/4.
4 1/4. Yeah, I gave it a 4. I when I read my number, I thought I gave it a 4 1/4 too, but then I read it was a 4, and I'm like, what have I done? But yeah, okay. So like my old Irish infused grandma said, your first impression is your best impression. Your first thought is your best thought. So that brings your final to what?
8 5/8, 65.
That brought mine to 8 1/8, 125.
Half point difference.
Yeah. So how weird
Pretty
is this?
incept that we're always
At
about
what point did we flip?
I don't know. This is good. This is really good.
It had been a few months ago that we started. We didn't even meet even. We never really matched, I think, on we just fucking flipped. It's wild. I don't have an empty nose yet. I don't have a second nose. Are you getting anything?
I mean, cereal grains all day long.
It's cereal grains and
maybe
dried grass, from what I could smell.
Maybe a little bit of cola. Not necessarily cherry, but just a little bit of cola.
I haven't had cola in so fucking long, dude. I miss it. I need to have that test to see if my ticker still works right. But it really did seem like anytime I would add caffeine to my system, my heart would go, it'd be like this, flopping around fish feeling. And I did not like that. It actually scared me a few times, especially in the dead of summer. I thought, this is it. This is the day I die in my paint booth. I'm going to haunt the fuck out of this building. I swear to God, dude, if I die at work, I'm haunting it. There's going to be shit falling off. There's going to hopefully I won't be neurotic to the point where I hurt people, because I don't want to cause workplace injuries, because I do like and or love the people I work with. I just don't want to die there. You said they had about half a dozen of these bottles?
Yeah.
Well, one, that's cool because they've sold that many of them. Two, it sucks because I think this would make a great candidate for a cocktail, or fucking 10. Like, I think this...
I think it's going to.
This has so many different flavors going on, and it's so... strong in a good way, that I really think that every cocktail that you put this into,
and let's start with an old fashioned.
It's going to elevate.
This would be an amazing old fashioned.
It's going to elevate that sumbitch to a whole new level. Unfortunately, not everybody that watches this or listens to this episode of the podcast is going to be able to get their hands on this Knob Creek single barrel straight bourbon whiskey because they're not in the Kansas City area.
The great thing is, though, Knob Creek's Select Bourbon program is nationwide, and so
they can find something similar.
So yeah,
they just won't find the single barrel version of it.
Find your local store, and yeah, look for the Knob.
Ask them if they have it. If they don't have it, ask if they can get it.
The difference is, the Knob Creek 9-year is not. It's not going to be single barrel. So it'll be batch.
But it is 9 year.
But it's going to be 9 years.
It's a 9-year blend.
So it's going to be very similar. The Select Bourbon program gives you a single barrel offering.
Yeah.
And it gives you the extra discernment of the store narrowing down and picking the best of the barrels that they sampled.
Yeah. And the NOE bloodline knows, no pun intended, what the fuck they're doing. Booker
Booker is the
Fred knows what he's doing. I mean, it's in their bloodline. Like, I mean, being a musician is in my bloodline. I'm like 4th or 5th generation, depending on which side you want to go up. Musician. It doesn't mean I'm that good. It doesn't mean I'm great. But it does mean that, hey, I play music. Yep. I get paid for it sometimes. So that makes me a professional musician.
High five.
So, but yeah, the No family, they do get paid for their excellence, and it's in their blood to know what the fuck they're doing and be good at it. I mean, and or great at it. They've been employed by Beam and or Beam Suntory for, half a century at least. So, what do you say we close this out?
Let's do it.
All right. So, Knob Creek, 9-year, 4-month, 11-day straight bourbon whiskey, 120 proof, Gomer's fine wine and spirits, store pick from 103rd and Stateline, right? Mm-hmm. 103rd and Stateline. I wrote down here, Knob Creek has a reputation for quality. If you find yourself in the KC area, hopefully you do, we're a great town, and head to Gomer's on State Line and 103rd, pick up a bottle and let us know what you think. They may or may not have it by the time you get there, because who knows, by the time you watch this, it could be 6 months down the road. But even with that, the original offering is a 9-year Knob Creek. You're still getting the wax dip. You might get a screw top lid. I would guess it's still going to be good. This is going to be great by comparison. Unfair to compare. We've talked about that before. Right. But this is going to be a cut above for sure. It's a store pick. What do you expect? You gave it 8 5/8. I gave it 8 1/8. We're doing great. It's a $54 bottle as of time of recording.
It's a single barrel.
Single barrel. I mean,
store pick.
really, you just can't go wrong with store picks. If you've had good luck with store picks, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Send us an email. If you have not had good luck with store picks, that would be an even better interesting story. So definitely let us know. But if you're a fan of Knob Creek and you want to try it out, definitely try it out. You probably will find a single barrel or a store pick offering in your area, wherever it is that you may be. Get it, try it, let us know what you think. And we are willing to accept samples, even though it's probably illegal to send bottles across state lines. But if you won't tell, we won't tell. So no matter what you're drinking, where you're drinking it, across which state line or not, and who you're drinking it with, never forget,
keep on burning.